welcome back to another episode of the Dragon's Den podcast. Today we're joined by two of the up-and-coming AFLW stars, which we believe. In the first one today, we're joined with, she played 8 games for the Dragons this season. She averaged 16.3 kicks, 9 handballs, 25.2 disposals, 10 tackles and 4 goals over the season. Sofia Hurley, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dill. Thanks for having us.
And our next guest is Bridie Hipwell, who was injured to start the season, but she averaged 13.5 possessions per game, 3.2 marks, 5 tackles, and was pretty lively in front of the goals as well. How are you, Brides?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, just awesome. So I guess to get started, we'll go back to right where it all began for you both. So if I know you played at Port Melbourne through your juniors, how did you sort of get into footy?
So I actually played at South Melbourne first because my brothers played there and it's like my local club. And then I did Auskick, but then there wasn't a girls team. So like, I think in under 11s or something, I was playing with the boys and then I switched to Port Melbourne because they had a girls club. And yeah, and then I was just there until like under 16s.
Yeah, cool. So are you older or younger siblings?
Older. I'm the youngest. Yep.
And obviously into footy as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Sort of. So I have twin brothers, and they were sort of just into it because everyone, like all the boys, play it like when they're younger. So I don't know. They're not really that into it, but they just did it because everyone did it.
Yeah, fair enough. And so from there, I guess, what were your favourite memories from your junior days?
Well, I played in 2 losing grand finals, which was great. One of them actually was against Bridie.
Yes, it was.
Port Melbourne. And that was really good because, like, at our Port Melbourne team, I know, I think Bridie's club had, like, multiple teams. Like, you guys would, you get to, like, do an A's and B's team, right? Like, because you had enough girls. Like, my club, Port Melbourne, we never had enough girls. Like, it was always, like, every season we're like 10 girls short and you just like grab 10 girls who've never played before. So it was like pretty cool that we made the grand final in 2019 because like, yeah, lots of girls, it's like their first time playing and we beat some teams that are actually pretty good. And we're pretty good, but yeah. So that was my favourite memory probably, playing them in the grand final.
Yeah. And who would you say were some of your biggest influences growing up in terms of your footy?
Probably my dad, just because he's like really, really into footy. Yeah, I don't know. Probably dad and like my cousins maybe. I would say my brothers, but to be honest, they really just weren't that into it. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And Bridie, what about you? Where did you start your footy career?
I started playing at East Sandy Zebras.
Yeah, perfect. And what year did you start? How old were you?
2017, so I would have been 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what sort of drew you to footy in the first place?
In primary school, like year 6, there was a bit of a, I don't know what they called it, like a lightning carnival or something. And I put my hand up to play and it was played on like probably an oval, probably the size of the 50 arc. Like it was just with those plastic sticks and it was just a bit of a makeshift game, and that sort of brought me to being like to my parents, I think I want to play footy. And then my dad said, all right, I'll coach, and we gathered up some girls and we started the team down at East Sandy. So that was sort of how I got into it.
Yeah, awesome. And I know your brother played Dragons last year, or in years gone by, Derby. How does he sort of help you on your footy journey?
He's been a good motivator for my footy journey. I had lots of kicks. He would drag me out of the house to go for a kick with him, and vice versa. And through lockdown and all of that, he was good to have because we would just do sessions together and run together and those sorts of stuff. But he was pretty unlucky, as we know, with his draft year, so it was kind of a good incentive to take every opportunity because you don't know what's going to happen. And that was sort of how I took his journey.
Yeah, for sure. And what about in terms of some of your favourite juniors experiences? So I've mentioned that grand final. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, that was a good win. I think it hailed at one point. It was awful weather. So that was a good game to win. I think we won a couple grand finals, which was good, and yeah, we were quite a strong team. Sorry. So yeah, that were definitely some good memories.
Yeah. Did you two actually know each other when you played each other in juniors, or did you only meet, like, when did you actually meet each other?
We played like this interleague thing before Sandy. So like most of the Sandy girls, or most of the girls from your team, pretty much, I like knew of because we played with them. But like I don't know. We knew of each other, I'd say.
Yeah, we crossed paths at like that next gen St Kilda thing in interleague, and yeah, we knew who each other were.
Yeah, cool. And what about other sports? Have you all, like, Bridie, I think you played netball, haven't you?
Yeah, we played lots of netball.
Yeah. And what about you, Soph? Any other sports?
Yeah, I played basketball and I used to do cross country, but mainly basketball, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, let's move on to the Dragons, and I guess I'm guessing your first year was 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about that, coming to a sort of a different environment that was preparing you in advance for the professional standard. Tell me about what it was like coming to the Dragons. Was it a surprise what it was like, meeting a bunch of girls that pretty much had the same goal as you two? I'll hand it to you, Soph. Tell me about that experience when you first joined.
I feel like it's like quite a big jump. Well, for me personally, from the other like levels that I'd done of footy, it was like quite a big jump. And I remember it feeling like really like just like almost professional, like especially that first year. It was very like professional, and it was like really strict with like cuts and all that sort of stuff. Like not that there was heaps of cuts, but it was like, I don't know, just felt like much more serious, obviously. I think that first year was probably the biggest jump, but after that it's been pretty consistent, and yeah, I don't know, pretty easy to settle into, I think.
For you, Bridie?
Yeah, I'd say the same. It was quite a step up from, just club footy and that little experience we had at interleague to come into, a much more professional environment. But it was pretty cool to be playing with girls. We only played, Soph and I think we both played the first few rounds before COVID came and interrupted our lives. And, it was pretty surreal to watch those girls, like 7 of the girls go and get drafted. So it was quite exciting to see like, oh, that could be us in a couple of years. So yeah, it was good.
Any girls that got drafted that you keep in contact with nowadays?
Yeah, there's a couple, like Bella Eddie down at North. Soph and I saw her not long ago. It was good to chat to her, so yeah.
And I guess you talked about the COVID year. What was that like? You were moving into a professional environment and it completely got cut. Tell me about that experience from home. Do you think that affected your development positively or negatively?
It was pretty crappy to go on to. Of course, everyone knows that, but we were doing pretty well at the Dragons and we were looking pretty good, and 7 of the girls got drafted, so that says enough itself. But for me, I think, like I sort of touched on before with Darby, I don't think, in terms of development, I think it was all right for me because I had that sort of motivation with him, it being his draft year as well, to keep going, and there wasn't much else to do, so having a kick at the footy oval and going for a run was as enjoyable as it got during that time. So I think in terms of hindering my development, I think I got through it pretty okay.
For you, Soph?
Yeah, well, I don't really have anyone near me that was like, or that was like terribly close to me that was doing Sandy. And so the fitness level and motivation was like, I found it quite difficult. But I was lucky, like with school, I had school footy, and not that we got to play at all for that either, but the school was like, I don't know, they were sort of into it and gave us like things to do during lockdown, and we had like online sessions. So I still like got to do some footy stuff. But yeah, Sandy was, it was a bit difficult with Sandy.
Well, let's move on to this year. And this was your draft year. Tell me about this experience. And you came in with a new coach, Wayne Cripps. Tell me about this year, because it's been pretty much your first full year. I mean, last year you did get to play the full season, but this year was full on, sort of leading up right to now where we are. Tell me how you felt throughout this season and that group of girls, that coach and staff. What was that experience like?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess every single year we've been at Dragons, we've had a different head coach. So that was, another change with Cooper coming in. But, yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't even think of it like that. It was our first full consistent season. And for myself, that was all I really wanted, to have, play some good consistent footy. And, of course, COVID and then injury, I got a bit interrupted with that. So that wasn't ideal. But I think in terms of the team, that was sort of the message. And the message Cooper sort of began with at the start of pre-season was, the connection amongst our team, and having that first before all the footy stuff. And I think our team really took that really well, and we had a real close friendship with one another. And I think that carried all the way through from the start of the season to the end, which, it was one of the best things about it. I think I formed so many good friendships with girls from all over the place. And in terms of coaching staff, they were just awesome and so supportive throughout the whole thing. And couldn't have asked for better coaches.
Same for yourself.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think I got, the team was, the togetherness of the team I thought was pretty good this year, compared to maybe past seasons, just because, different coaches and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a bit hard because every year when it changes, it's you don't really know what to expect, but it was pretty good this year. I really enjoyed it. And like Bridie, I made a lot of good friendships with girls. And, the coaches have, been awesome this season as well.
Yeah, good one. So I guess from there you formed for the Dragons and in local footy, so you picked in the Vic Metro squads. You started that a couple of years ago, didn't you? Just prior to COVID. Was it just post COVID?
I didn't, but I think Bridie played before.
2021. So.
Just that's halfway through COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that initially, getting introduced to that program?
Yeah, it was quite surprising. I was like, I've only played 3 games the previous year, but it was it was exciting, and it was just a whole nother step up again from Dragons. But I think COVID, actually, no, it did. It interrupted that as well. I think we missed a trip to Queensland and stuff, but we got to play, which was good.
Yeah. So you obviously played Vic Metro this year as well. What's it like playing with the best of the best?
I feel like it's the best thing about it is that you sort of can play your game even more than usual at NAB league level, because you're playing with a lot of people that are personally, I will speak for myself. I'm playing with people that are I think quite better than me. So it just sort of, I can, rely on them to do whatever, and it just lets me do sort of I can do whatever I want and everything just falls into place, which is really cool. I think it's almost, there's not more freedom, but in a sense there also is. I don't know if you feel that way, Bridie. You just I don't know, things just seem to fall into place when you're playing at those levels, which is really cool.
Yeah, Bridie, would you agree with what Soph's saying?
Yeah, no, I think I understand what you're trying to get across. Yeah, no, she's right. It's just a whole nother level above Dragons, and being in that environment makes you play better yourself. So it's a pretty good experience to get to do.
Yeah, awesome. Bridie, I guess this one's more for you, given you had an injury during the Carnival. What was it like helping out as a runner and with the coaching stuff behind the scenes?
Well, I won't lie, I'd rather be on the ground playing, but it was good. I was very grateful to be able to still be involved, whether that was wearing the fluoro pink outfit and running out to the girls, or I know when we played in Queensland, I sat on the bench and handed out ice packs to everyone because it was that hot. So I was always doing something in amongst the chats and always trying to be involved. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would have done anything to be out there actually playing.
Yeah. Did you learn anything different, like taking that step back away from playing? Like, did you find out any more about the game itself?
Nothing specifically, but I do know what you mean. I think being on the bench with some of the coaches who weren't in the boxes, being able to see exactly what they're talking about. Like, I know when you might get pulled to the side at a break or whatnot, and they kind of say something to you, and you kind of you've just been running around, your thoughts aren't on what they're talking about, but being able to see it happen in front of me, you can definitely understand, maybe the message they're trying to get across. So, yeah, I guess taking a step back and just kind of being able to have a look at what's going on because you're not directly involved with it yourself.
Yeah, awesome. And in terms of other girls that you played with, who are some girls that you connected with outside of the Dragons group?
At Metro, sorry.
Yeah, at Metro.
Soph and I reckon she'd agree. Probably it's like Monham, and actually it's hard to list the girls because they're all close with all of them. But like, yeah, Montana, Charlotte Bascaran, Jazz, Maya Bush. I could literally list the whole team because I think that Metro team was a very surprisingly, considering we weren't, seeing each other 4 times a week like we were at Dragons and it was only once a week, was a very close group. So it's very hard to pick out just a couple of people because I'd end up listing the whole team like I started to do before.
Yeah. And so what was your, I guess, like favourite moment from the Carnival?
I love that we could like actually go into state and like play a game because we hadn't done that. And like honestly probably was expecting for that to be cancelled as well, given everything else that's happened over the past couple of seasons. So that was really cool. But I liked like the last game was really fun when like we were playing a really good opposition and it sort of became close towards the end. So that was quite fun. But yeah, probably going to state was a highlight.
Yeah. So did you fly out the morning of the game that day or like a couple of days?
Yeah, we flew out in the morning. And then it was like quite early. I can't even remember what time it was. Quite early, and then we got back. I think our flight was delayed a little bit as well on the way back, so we got back quite late. It was like, it was a very long day, but it was still fun.
Yeah, beauty.
Well, to add to the Vic Metro, you both got selected in the under-18 AFL Australian team, which is quite a big honour. I mean, tell me your reactions when you heard that news, because I mean, you couldn't really get much of a higher accolade than that at the level you're playing. So tell me both, how'd you feel?
It was pretty surreal to be told that that we were going to be selected for that. I think, Soph and I and the other Vic Metro girls were told at the end of the camp back in December for Vic Metro, and it was, I don't know, I remember someone sort of mentioning like this academy thing and not really quite understanding what it was, and then Tarkin sort of being like, congratulations, like you've been selected for it. It took a while to sink in because like you said, it was a pretty big honour, and it was just all excitement.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Like I sort of heard about an academy too, but I didn't really know too much about it. So then when Tarkin like put us aside at the end of last year, that was like pretty cool and really exciting as well.
I guess from memory, Daisy Pearce was a part of that experience. What was it like was she a coach or a mentor? Tell me about her just in around that time.
Yeah, I think she was both actually, like coach and mentor. Bridie and I, so we both played in the forward line, and Daisy was actually the forwards coach on game day. So that was really cool because she was like in charge of us pretty much. But yeah, she was so nice, and like also just outside of like footy, when we were just during the day, she was like really approachable and easy to talk to about anything, not just footy, which was really cool.
Yeah, that summed it up pretty well. It was pretty awesome to work with her, and yeah, like So said, just sort of hang out with her a bit because there was times when it wasn't all about footy, and that was pretty awesome as well.
Any girls from other states that impressed you a lot?
I feel like everyone really, to be honest. There was like everyone from other states was so impressive. I know there was some girls that were like dual athletes and like doing. I know one girl was doing rowing for like Australia or something like that, and also doing the academy. Like, yeah, lots of people with really like impressive stories.
Yeah, I'd agree. There was one girl who had missed the previous camp because she was at the netball nationals. So yeah, a couple more dual athletes. It was pretty amazing to hear about what they've been up to. But yeah, every single girl, they were all there for a reason. Quite clearly, they were all pretty good. Not just pretty good, they were all incredible. And yeah.
Well, you got to play against older girls in that game at Punt Road, and what was that like? Because I guess you haven't really had that experience before. NAB League, when you're in your 16 year, you're playing against older girls, but these were, I think, under 23. Was that a bit of a surprise to you? How'd you adapt to that?
Well, I don't know. It was kind of like, because there were lots of girls as well that were 18. Like I knew a lot of there was a couple of the Metro girls were in the other team. They were a really good team as well. Like I don't know. It's sort of hard to distinguish. I didn't really know who was like older and who was younger. I only just knew the girls who I sort of knew, but they were a very good team. So it was definitely like an arm wrestle.
Yeah, so it's right. Yeah, a lot of the girls we played with or against from the country and Metro teams, but yeah, I guess it wasn't too hard to like tell, who was, if they were 23 or if they were 17, but yeah, it was a very, very good game and tough game, so it was just a really good experience to play with some older and very talented girls.
So the draft is in, or just under 2 weeks' time now. What was the combine like this year? It wasn't your full, I guess, set of exercise, and it was just the 2 kilometre sprint. How did that sit with you guys?
The 2 kilometre sprint.
Yeah,
sprint, time trial.
It was a 2 kilometre. It was a sprint for so, not for others, but
yeah.
No, it was good. It was yeah.
You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say it was interesting. Like it was at night time as well, so it was a bit like throughout the day. I don't know, like when you're in primary school or whatever, and you have like your races, it's always like I feel like it's in the morning whenever you have like cross country or something like that, like the 2 kilometre races. So it was a bit like weird adjusting it to nighttime, but it was like I thought it was pretty good, and everyone did pretty well, to be honest. So
especially you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you're like the 3rd or 4th. Like best ever in that event now, I'm pretty sure. So well done on that. Bridie, how did you, like before the event, did you get nervous for that sort of thing?
I actually had an English sack about 2 hours before it, so my mind was pretty preoccupied with some other stuff. But like Soph said, it was weird timing. Like whenever we've done 2K time trials at Dragons, it's always 8:30 at the Aths track, not 6 p.m. did it. So like I guess I don't necessarily get too nervous, but it was at the back of my mind, throughout the day, because it's quite a long time to wait before you've got to do it. But yeah, like I was nervous, but I just thought, just got to do it, so I wasn't too bad.
Yeah. So how are you both feeling going into the draft in a couple of weeks' time?
I feel like Bridie and I spoke about this the other day, actually. Like, it's because there was no, like, dates or clarity for so long. I feel like I'm still sort of, like, I don't know, it's just, like, it hasn't come, like, set in yet for me, because I'm just sort of like, oh, it was pushed back for so long, like, but, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited, but I think it will feel more real and, like, maybe a bit more nerve-wracking as we get closer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It hasn't quite sunk in that it's only, like you said, under 2 weeks away. Like I'm excited, but you're always nervous because you don't know what's going to happen and just can't really do anything now. So just got to wait.
Yeah. This one's probably more directed at you, Soph, because Bridie's still at school. What have you been doing this year, given you finished school?
Well, I actually took a gap year because I wanted to travel overseas. But then it was sort of a decision when they like changed the footy dates, like the season. I sort of had to make the decision between footy or travel, and so then obviously I took footy. So I've just been working because I was saving up to travel initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still saving up, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah. So final one, I guess, on the draft is what would it feel like? What would it mean to you to be actually picked up and join the AFLW?
Yeah, be pretty incredible. It's kind of coming into Dragons back in 2020. I know, don't know about Soph, but I kind of thought like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So I've been putting in quite a bit of work, basically towards the end goal of getting drafted. So it'd be good to finally hopefully get there and feel like all my hard work's paid off. But yeah, like you can't get any higher than this level. So yeah, it'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I feel like it would be. Sorry.
Apologies. No, sorry. So no, continue.
No, I agree. Like it's also like, especially everything that Bridie and I are lucky enough to do this year with like the academy and all that. Like, it's just sort of shown how like exciting the opportunity really is, and yeah, everything that's like hopefully going to come with it if we get drafted.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, let's take your minds away from footy, and we put out an Instagram story asking for people to put out some questions. Yeah, look, we've got a couple here. Me and Dill will just go back and forth asking a couple here. A couple are aimed at Soph, so let's get these two out of the way. So the first one is from Annie Sutherland, and she said, Soph, Annie here, your Caulfield mate that you never see, old BGS or old CGS?
None, actually none. I've decided to be unproblematic and remove myself from the VAFA altogether. So
I tried to come to Old Brighton, the Superior team, but Caulfield weren't too happy about that.
No, Caulfield were not happy, so it's okay. I've just taken a step back from that one. Annie?
Jeez, that's drama. Soph, this is from Chilcott 78. Soph, do you remember playing in the under-11s final against St. Paul's McKinnon?
Yeah, I do. That's the grand final I was talking about earlier.
That you lost?
That I lost. That was when I played with the boys. And
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember it was at like Mentone Grammar's grounds or something, and they were so nice. So I definitely remember that one.
Yeah.
The next one from your good old teammate Ella. She has asked, Soph, what was your global politics study score?
49.
49. And for listeners who do not understand BCE, if you put that into out of 100, it's 90 out of 100. So pretty high. Very well done, Soph.
So both the girls are like good at everything is the message that we're discovering here. This one, I guess either of you can answer. Shane Webster has asked, who is your favourite coach?
I feel like
Go on, Bridie.
All right, I'll throw you in. You don't have to answer that. I'll throw you a name, and you have to tell me what your favourite thing about that coach is. Okay. We'll start with Shane. What's your favourite thing about Shane?
Oh, his energy was just you could never match it. He would just always brought everything to every training and every game, and never failed to make you laugh. And yeah, he was just had the best personality, and I just think he brought so much to our team this year, being a new coach, and he was great to work with.
Yeah, and I feel like he's like so caring, and he was like really caring for everyone in the team, which I thought was really nice.
Cool.
On to the last question. Declan Reeve, both of you I think have been involved with Declan through Interleague possibly. He's asked any big inspirations through the journey.
Oh, yeah.
There was one coach we had in Interleague, but I think it was actually our last year that I don't think it was Declan. I think it was the other guy. What was his name?
Lockie?
Yeah. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
tough.
Declan was great.
Declan, he began our footy career. We'll give him that.
Declan did begin Friday night's footy career.
There you go. Well, now trivia time, and we've got some sport trivia for you. And there's 5 questions here, and I'm not going to get you to get some paper, but I'm just going to get you to tell us when you've got your answer. And yet again, me and Dill will alternate these questions. But the first sport question, which Tasmanian city hosted 2 AFL finals last year?
Hobart.
Oh, do we just blurt it out?
Well, no, I did say just say when you got your answer, Bridie, but okay, you've given your answer and that's wrong. So, I'll give you a chance to get it right. That is correct. So, well done. 1-0.
I was going to say Hobart, so thanks, Bridie.
Second one is, where is the 2022 FIFA World Cup being held? Which country?
I've got my answer.
I've got mine.
Qatar.
All right. Yeah.
Bridie.
I bet Bridie's going to say Qatar as well. Yeah, over to you, Nath.
Well, 2-0. So, NBA finals just finished. Who won the finals MVP?
Oh. I think I've got an answer. I don't know if this is right, but.
I'll take a shot. I've got one around as well.
You go first, Bridie.
Is it like Steph Curry or something?
That is correct. So, what was your answer?
No, I was going to say Steph Curry.
You were? Was that?
Yeah,
was
because
it?
he's not even everywhere. I see him all over, like.
Yeah, that was
here.
I just saw his name somewhere on Instagram, and that was a complete guess.
Well, there you go. You are correct. So 3-1 to Soph.
Wait,
Back to you, Dill.
I said Steph Curry.
Yeah. But you didn't get
Bridie got that one.
the other 2 right, and that's the third question, isn't it? Soph's got all correct. 3. Am I going insane?
Okay.
I feel like whoever gets the answer first should get the point. Or is
Wait,
that not fair?
3-0 or 3-1?
3-1.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Next one is, who won the 2022 AFLW Best and Fairest? Give us if you can get the team, we'll give you the point.
All right, me.
Yeah, I know.
Go on, Bridie.
Adelaide Crows.
So?
Is it Brisbane?
Yeah, Brisbane. Emily Bates it was.
Didn't it get played? Oh my god, it got played in Adelaide. That's so embarrassing.
Well, what's that now? That is 4-1. So Soph has won, even without this last question. With the last question, the Socceroos goalkeeper, Andrew Redmayne, used an unusual tactic in the World Cup qualifier penalty shootout against Peru. What was that tactic?
Oh, I think I saw this, actually.
Want to give it a go? Soph, are you going to answer?
Well, I don't know if it's right, but wasn't he like, he was like jumping around or something like that, like around the goal line or something.
Close enough. Yeah, we'll give it to you. Was pretty much dancing around on the goal line and helped us get to the World Cup. Now over to Dill. This segment, I'll let Dill explain.
So it's called This or That. I'll pretty much give you 2 options, and you just have to tell me which one you'd go for. Don't need to explain it. Just go with what you'd go. So, beach holiday or snow holiday?
Beach.
Yep. Mark of the year or goal of the year?
Mark of the year.
Goal of the year.
A little bit of a difference there. Night game or day game?
Day game.
Yeah, day game, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Pasta.
And last one is English or maths?
Maths.
Really? So, aren't you? I thought you'd be good at English if you like global politics, or are they completely different?
Oh, it's essays, but their like content is so different.
There you have it.
Well, that concludes the podcast. And I guess the last question for you girls, the AFLW draft is the 29th of June, so not long to go. What are your plans leading up to the draft? What do you plan to do come draft night? Everything around the draft. How are you girls feeling?
Well, I'm actually lucky that I don't have to go to school before the draft. So I'm going on holidays, just coincidentally. So yeah, I'll be up out of here while Bridie's studying at school.
It's only school holidays, but
Are you on holidays?
Yeah.
Wait, right now?
No, like the week before.
Oh, okay.
One more week left.
Where are you going on holiday, so?
I'm going to Gold Coast.
Yeah.
This week. Or well, next week. But yeah.
Sweet.
Well, thank you girls for joining us. Like I said, AFLW draft will be next Wednesday, not next Wednesday, the 29th of June, which is a Wednesday night. Thank you girls for joining us. And until then, we will see you in the next episode.